All right, so walking through this, starting at 0 and let's change that to A. Let's actually go through each of the button states. So I need to check to see if the button state for that particular one is a score die. If it is, I need to add that particular die value to the value count. So I'm going to take the die value of A, add 1 to it so it actually matches 1 through 6 instead of 0 through 5. I'm going to add 1 to it. Once I'm all done with this, now I need to actually go through and set my scores. So at this point, value count should have how many times I've seen each of those numbers. So at this point, if you have any 2s, 3s, 4s, or 6s, and you don't have a triple of those, that's an invalid selection. You can only score dice that actually give you points. So I'm going to have to watch out for that. So if value count 2 is greater than 0 and less than 3, that means that I tried to score a single 2 or a pair of 2s, which is not a valid thing. And I'm going to do basically the same thing again for 3, 4, and 6. So if any of those things happen, something has gone wrong. If not, then I'm going to start adding to the current score. And this is where I actually start having to figure out, okay, how much is each thing worth? So if we look at the original document, the way I set it up is that if you get 1 or 2 of a 1, you're going to get 100 points each, so 100 or 200 for a pair. And the similar thing with 5s. However, if you manage to get 3 of a kind, then the score increases dramatically. So 3 1s would be 1,000, 3 2s is 200, 3 3s is 300, so on. And the way I'm adding, let's say you have a 4th die, you get basically an extra 1,000 for each extra 1 beyond the first. So 4 1s would give you 2,000, 5 1s would give you 3,000, all 6 1s would give you 4,000. So now I need to actually add on the amount that each of those is worth. So here, if the value count of 1 is less than 3, so the number of 1s I have is less than 3, then I need to basically add 100 per each of those to my score. Don't have a score right now. I should probably do that. And while I'm up here, let's also do a total score and a current round. Those seem like things I'm going to need. So back down here, so current score is going to be whatever it was plus value count of 1 times 100. So if there's 1 of them in here, it'll be 100. If there's 2 of them in here, it'll be 200. It's going to be basically the same thing for 5s. Only it's going to be 50 points. All right, triples and more. value count of 1 is greater than or equal to 3, then current score is going to be itself, it's going to be basically 1,000 times the value count of 1 minus 2, by which I mean that if there are exactly 3, I want to multiply 1,000 by 1. If there are exactly 4, I want to multiply 1,000 by 2, so on. So this will actually give me the correct score for ones. It's going to be a similar thing for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 2 is going to be 200. 3 is 300. 4 is 400. You get the idea. So that will be our new current score. All right, so let's say that I actually do that. Now I need to actually re-update my current score text view. So current score plus current score. Next, I need to, if I've scored something, I need to change any score dice into locked dice. So if I go through and say, all right, if your button state is a score die, then congratulations, you're now a locked die. I also need to change the background color. And I'm going to set my background color to blue, I guess. Basically some other color that shows that it's not allowed to be there. So once I have scored dice and it's valid, I also need to disable all the buttons that were part of that. And now I need to re-enable the roll die, disable the scoring die, and enable the stop die, which is something we haven't really messed with yet. So we're allowed to roll again. We're allowed to stop, is another possibility, but we are not allowed to score. So if I roll and I have a 1 here, it should be able to be scored. I hit the score, it says what my current score is, and I'm allowed to roll again. Notice that it doesn't update the 1 again. So now I should be able to score again and roll again. All right. So I just noticed that when I roll, I should also disable stop. Didn't have that before because I didn't need it. And there we go. We're starting to get the beginnings of the game. So once you do hit a stop, what you get to do is you basically set all the dice back to hot dice, add your current score to your total score, and reset everything basically back to the roll state. So if I go here and I say I would like to stop and take my current score, so total score equals itself plus current score. Current score becomes 0. I need to set corresponding text fields. So this text view becomes current score is that. Total score gets updated. And finally, the round gets added. So I'm going to end that and add on the current round. I am having trouble with that extra capital. There we go. Okay, so once this is stopped, I'm going to need to go through all the buttons, disable them, set them all to light gray, and set them all back to hot dice. So first of all, let's do buttons dot set enabled to false, and the reason why is I need to actually roll before I am allowed to mess with them. Buttons A. Button state of A now becomes hot die. And buttons A dot set color, or the background color, will become light gray again. I need to do the enabling and disabling. So roll becomes enabled, score becomes disabled, stop becomes disabled. Oops, let's run it from there. All right, so we roll. Let's get a 1, score that, and now I'm going to try stopping. All right, so it updates the scores, sets the 1, away we go. I just realized that I probably said current round instead of just round, so let me change that real quick. All right, we almost have a game.